We good? We're good? Okay. Can you hear me okay? I don't think it's on, Stephen. Can you hear me okay now? Is it on? Okay. It's hard to tell up here. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see all of you. It's always good to see a packed house at the City Council meeting. I do want to remind you that we have agendas on the podium back here, so you're certainly welcome to grab one and kind of follow along with us. We will have several presentations tonight. I do want to remind you as well that the items that we'll be voting on, we have discussed at our workshop meeting. We have 2 council meetings each month, as most of you know. The first Monday of the month is our workshop where we don't vote on anything but the agenda, but we discuss all of the items that are on tonight's agenda. And then we come back on the third Monday and vote on those things we discussed at the workshop. So if you see things moving very quickly, I don't want you to feel that we're not informed or haven't discussed or haven't explored the options that are open because we'll be moving rather quickly through those agenda items. But we are called to order, and the first order of business is always to start with a prayer and a pledge. And I'm proud to introduce Vice Mayor Josh Reynolds. He's going to provide us with our prayer, and then we'll call on Councilman Lester Cromer, who will lead us in our pledge. So, Vice Mayor?
Yes, ma'am. If everybody please bow their heads for me. Dear Lord, Heavenly Gracious Father, Lord, we just thank you for this day, and we just thank you for the time that you've given us to fellowship with one another, Lord. And we just ask for your wisdom and your guidance, Lord, as we handle the city's matters, Lord. In your most holy gracious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Josh.
Stand, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our next item is to approve the agenda, and our city clerk, Jessica White, sends our agenda and our council packets out, and plenty of time for us to review those, so you've had the opportunity to look through. So I'll take a motion concerning our agenda for tonight.
move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. The next item is to approve the minutes of our March 18th meeting. Let's see, did we have, Jessica, was it just the March 18th, I believe? I believe that's right. So we have the March 18th minutes that are in our packet, so I'll take a motion concerning those minutes.
Move to approve.
Thank you. All right, so I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that does carry. Our next item is public comments. We do have the floor open for public comments on our third Monday night. If there's anyone who would like to speak to address the council and didn't know that you needed to sign up, we do have a sign-up sheet there. Is there anyone that signed up to speak? Okay. Did anyone want to speak but didn't realize you needed to sign up? Okay. Lee, if you don't mind, go ahead and go to the podium, and then while you're up there, just fill your name in real quick for the record. And if you'll just state your name and your address, and then we have the rules of decorum that you're familiar with. You've been to speak to the council meeting before. The rules of decorum are on the back of your agenda if you're interested in reading through those. The council has rules of decorum on how we interact with each other, and then also the public interacting with the council. So, Lee, I'll turn the floor over to you.
All right, thank you, Julie. Thank you, council. So since the last meeting a couple weeks ago, it's been very disturbing. I've got several calls and emails defaming my character, and I've got several threatening phone calls that I should not show up here tonight, but I am here. So please accept these comments on behalf of the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, the nonprofit, nonpartisan advocacy affiliate of the American Cancer Society. Supports the fact-based politics designed to reduce the cancer burden for everyone, and we urge you to oppose the cigar bar, lounge, and tobacco bars from opening in our community. Research shows comprehensive smoke-free laws improve indoor air quality, reduces secondhand smoke exposure, change social norms regarding the acceptability of smoking, prevent youth and young adult smoking initiation, and reduce heart attacks and asthma, hospitalizations among people who do not smoke. Allowing any type of cigar or tobacco bar in our community is a step in the wrong direction and sends wrong messages to our kids. With everything we know about the health concerns and effects of smoking and exposure to secondhand smoke, Tifton should be strengthening our smoke-free ordinance to include all workplaces and public places rather than undermining it. There is no safe level of exposure to secondhand smoke. Smoke-free laws and policies must be applied equitably to ensure all people have a fair and just opportunity to breathe smoke-free air and be as healthy as possible. People who work in places filled with cigarette smoke have no choice but to inhale this deadly and addictive secondhand smoke on a regular basis, increasing their risk of concerns of cancer of the lungs, the oral cavity, larynx, and esophagus. Allowing cigar businesses to permit indoor smoking not only puts the health of our patrons and employees at risk, but also patrons and employees of adjoining business and external agencies, including cleaning, maintenance, repair, delivery persons, and no one should have to choose between their health and a good job. Ventilation systems simply do not protect anyone from the carcinogens found in the secondhand smoke. The Surgeon General has concluded that only the effective way to fully protect people from exposure from secondhand smoking is to eliminate smoking. The American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers is the organization that develops engineering standards for building ventilation systems. They hold the position that the only means to avoiding health effects and eliminating indoor exposure is to prohibit all smoking activity inside and near buildings. Smoke-free laws help prevent smoking among youth and help encourage and support those who are trying to quit. In 2023, cigars was the third most used tobacco product used in the middle and high school students. By allowing cigar bars, we simply increase the visibility of cigar smoking, cigar advertising, and promotional activities which normalize cigar smoking and underdoing years of work by our public health. This should not be an aspirational social norm we ingrate on the next generation. Tifton can and must do better. Everyone deserves the right to breathe clean air, and regardless of the air of where they work, live, and play. We strongly recommend the council to prohibit this business from allowing indoor smoking. And also, I just want to make one more comment. At the last council, it was said that my partner smokes and vapes. They do not. They work at a smoke-free campus. They're a nurse. They're tested regularly for nicotine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lee. Is there anyone else that wanted to speak that didn't sign up? I want to give everyone the opportunity to speak. Hey, and if you'll do the same thing, Ms. Alf, you'll just write your name there on the sign-in sheet, and then just state your name and address, and then we'll turn the floor over to you.
Okay, I'm Marianne Dow. Our business is at 230 Main Street, corner of 3rd and Main. We'll be 4 doors down from this cigar place. I think it's a good thing. It's not good to come downtown Tifton and see paper on windows when it should be a business opened. And, you know, in objection to Mr. Turner's remarks about secondhand smoking by passing this establishment when the doors are closed is like saying I'm going to gain weight by smelling garlic bread. That is the aroma down on Main Street. And he wasn't very concerned about our health when we were vendors at his store for a year and a half of doing his outside window while his employee watched and smoked. But anyways, I think it just needs to pass this, and it's just a good thing. I think the local restaurants will, get business from this. The men may want to go smoke a cigar, and the women may want to go shop. And I really just think this just needs to go through. It's better to have something in a business than to have nothing there. Everybody has a chance to start a business, whether it'll work, whether or not. I mean, Mr. Lester knows that this is a big investment for him, like it was for us, but probably more so for him. And I just think it just needs to be passed.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bell. Was there anyone else that wanted to speak this evening? Okay. Thank you both for your comments. All right. I'm going to step down front. We have a couple of folks who have volunteered to serve on our boards, which we're very thankful for, and then we're going to have a proclamation. So I'm going to ask at this time, Mr. Dennis Reese. Mr. Reese, if you'll join me right down here in front of the end of the table where that cordless mic is. Dennis. Our thank you. Very important for you. And on how people can or can't by the board approves them, that comes to the council, or if they deny them, that comes to the council. And then it's up to these gentlemen and myself to make the decision on what the final decision is. But we rely very heavily on our boards to do the work of the community. So if any of you are interested in serving on the board, I certainly invite you and encourage you to do so, because it really does fill a big role in this community. It's very important. And I just realized I was supposed to be saying all of that on the microphone. So, we're going to look right up here. We do film all of our city council meetings. They are all aired on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go back and watch something, or if you hear of a topic that's coming up and you maybe couldn't be here for one night, you can go scroll YouTube and find city council meetings. You can watch previous meetings and that type of thing. So we want you smiling pretty at the camera, okay? Okay. If you can do it. You're looking pretty. Okay, you're doing good. Okay. So the oath of office is, it says, I, Dennis Reese, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties as a member of the Tifton Planning and Zoning Board of this city, and that I will support and defend the Charter of the City of Tifton, as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia and of the United States of America, that you shall attend all meetings of the body to which you are being appointed unless you are providentially hindered, that you shall abide by the standards for conflicts of interest adopted by the City Council and the rules of disclosure applicable thereto, that unless disqualified by those standards for conflicts of interest, you shall actively participate in all discussions of the body to which you are being appointed, and that you shall attend at city expense any training mandated by the state of Georgia, and also attend as scheduled any special training arranged by the city of Tifton. Do you affirm? I do. Congratulations, you are now a member. And you have signed this, I'll be signing this, it's official, and then you'll start to receive notices about the meeting and get ready, and you can hit the ground running, I know. So thank you, Dennis, very much for doing that. Jessica, here's that back, I'll sign that after the meeting's over. I'd now like to invite Ms. Barbara Singleton Gary to come up and join me. Hi, Ms. Barbara. Ms. Barbara has very graciously agreed to serve on our Housing Authority Board, and we're very thankful for that. You've got several members of the board here. Randy, do you want to introduce some of the other members that are here with the Housing Authority? Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. It is our pleasure. First of all, I'm Randy Chambers. I'm the chairman of the Tifton Housing Authority Board. It's my pleasure to be here tonight for us to have Ms. Gary serve on our board. Our vice chairman, Judge Larry Mims, is also with us, and a few members of the staff, Ms. Chandra Clark, who is our executive director, and I believe I've got Ms. Sheena Washington in the back there. Did I get that right? I thought so. Sorry, y'all. I drove to Tennessee and back, so yeah, it's been a long day. But anyway, thank you, Ms. Gary, for agreeing to serve. We're really excited about moving forward with the Housing Authority. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you, Randy. All right, you ready? It's basically the same oath that we gave to Mr. Reese. So the oath says that you, Barbara Singleton Gary, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially perform the duties as a member of the Tifton Housing Authority of this city, and that you will support and defend the Charter of the City of Tifton, as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia and of the United States of America, that you shall attend all meetings of the body to which you have been appointed unless providentially hindered, that you shall abide by the standards for conflicts of interest adopted by the City Council and the rules of disclosure applicable thereto. Unless disqualified by the standards for conflicts of interest, you shall actively participate in all decisions of the body to which you are being appointed, and that you shall attend at city expense any training mandated by the state of Georgia, and that you shall also attend as scheduled any special training arranged by the city of Tifton. Do you affirm? Well, congratulations. It is official. All right. So thank you again to our citizens who agreed to serve. If you are interested in serving, you can see Ms. Jessica White, our city clerk, and she'll be glad to help you get into the area that you're most interested in working with. I'd now like to recognize some very important guests we have with us tonight, and I'd like to ask all of the ladies that are with ABAC's Upsilon Kappa chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority to please join me up here. You look so beautiful in your colors, and we're so proud to have you here this evening. All right, y'all come on closer. I promise I won't bite. because we got to get everybody squeezed in. I want everybody to be seen on the camera. And Davis is going to take a picture for the Tifton Gazette, so you got to smile pretty, okay? All right, so our proclamation says, whereas Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated was founded on November the 19th, 1922 in Indianapolis, Indiana, on the Irvington campus of Butler University, and whereas the organization is an international nonprofit sorority dedicated to the encouragement and promotion of high academic achievement, community service, and improvement in the quality of life through its chapters, members, and affiliates located throughout the United States and 8 countries across the world. And whereas Sigma Gamma Rho has a well-known and well-respected reputation for leading positive change through sisterhood, scholarships, and services, and whereas under the banner of its slogan, Greater Service, Greater Progress, Sigma Gamma Rho's programs and partnerships represent its commitment to promoting the greater good in education, service, and leader development. And whereas the City of Tifton recognizes the service and leadership of the sorority, and in honor of their anniversary, we are proud to recognize the sorority members for the numerous ways they lend their talents to enrich and enhance the fabric of our city. Now, therefore, I, Julie Smith, Mayor of the City of Tifton, on behalf of the Tifton City Council, do hereby proclaim April 16th, 2024, as a citywide celebration of the first anniversary of ABAC's Upsilon Kappa sorority, and encourage all residents to extend best wishes and gratitude to the chapter members for their service to our community. I have signed it this day, April the 15th. Jessica White has signed it. She's our city clerk, and it has the official seal of the City of Tifton. So, ladies, it is official. I'll present that to you. Do you want to say a few words about the program and what you do?
Yes, and thank you so very much, Mayor Smith, as well as City Councilmen, and ladies and gentlemen. My name is LaWanna Barron. I'm a 35-year member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority was founded November the 12th, 1922, Butler University, Indianapolis, Indiana, by 7 African-American school teachers. And so one of the things that's so significant, 100 years later, on the campus of Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, that Upsilon Kappa chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority was also chartered. That is significant. We're the first of the National Panhellenic Council, the Divine Nine, that is the Black Greek lettered organizations, to charter at ABAC. So when you talk about history in your great city, we're a part of that history, part of the service, and we just want to say that we're grateful and thankful. We're here, Kappa Psi Sigma, the alumni chapter. We actually sponsor our undergrads. Standing next to you is our president, Sharon Daniels, a native here of Tifton, Tina Woods, our advisor, and then Tina Randall, as well as the sisters. So once again, we appreciate you, and we look forward to greater service, greater progress here in the great city of Tifton. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for Isn't Tifton the greatest place in the world to live when we have a campus like ABAC in our community and these wonderful women who are doing so much to better and further the efforts of our community? So thank you for that. That really is very moving and very inspiring. And speaking of moving and inspiring, I'd like to call now on the best librarian in the state of Georgia, Miss Karen Thompson. She is the branch manager of the Tifton-Tift County Public Library. And if you have not met Karen, it's because you've been hiding under a rock somewhere, and you need to go in the library. She's doing amazing things with the facility and with the patrons and everything that's going on. So Karen, tell us what's going on.
Good evening, City Council and Mayor Smith. It's my pleasure this evening to be giving you a brief update on the library. Before you should have a copy of the BEAR, and I would like to apologize. I had meant to come and talk to you about the BEAR grant before the BEAR grant even launched and got going, but it launched and got going, and we've been running ever since. So The final program for the Bear Grant actually happens tomorrow evening as we are hosting award-winning Georgia author Carmen Agrediti at the historic Tiff Theater. Thank you very much for lending us your theater. We're very excited. During the day, we will be hosting field trips for kindergarten and grade 1. Cannot wait. So we may clog up Main Street temporarily.
That's okay. That's okay. You go
But they're
ahead.
so cute, you can't help it. So, on this piece of paper that was attached is just a little bit of information for you that I'm just going to touch on briefly this evening. Under these pictures here, you may notice the special one, the second one down, is our field trip where we hosted our homeschool group here in the City Council chambers as part of the Mayor's Reading Club. Our group is still talking about this field trip, so thank you very much for hosting it. It kicked off a really fun opportunity where we're going to do some more walking field trips with our homeschool group around downtown. We also have some images of this little guy who's finished some of his 1,000 books before kindergarten as part of our ongoing program to help our littles get reading. Beside that is Donna from the Chickasaw Nation in Oklahoma, and she was here also as part of the NEA Big Reads Grant, and she met with a group of children at the Bateman Youth Center, and then also we saw another batch at the Tifton Theater, so it was pretty spectacular. The larger picture you see is also from the NEA Big Reads, and that is at the Performing Arts Center at the high school. We hosted all of 4th and all of 5th grade through 2 showings of Mr. Damon's Shadow Puppet Theater, and he is a puppet artist from the Atlanta Center for Puppetry Arts, so it was really extra special. A lot of those teachers were commenting how that's a program they don't normally see, which is a goal for the library. We want to be bringing in programming and opportunity for our community. Our usage remains high in January. We saw 5,712 people. February, 6,173 people, and March, 6,870 people. Those numbers are high. We're nervous about the summer, but very excited. So we have a few small construction projects coming up through a series of grants. We're pleased to share that we're working to get the side doors to our facility open. That's on Library Lane. We are almost ready to start, and we're very excited to see that happen. We've also received a grant from Georgia Power, which will allow us to upgrade all of our lighting to LED. So, and that will happen in the late summer, early fall. And also in the near future, the TTCPL board is going to be pursuing a grant program that will allow us to do a complete interior renovation of our facility. So we're very excited about that as well. This summer, we are focusing on creating a strong momentum to launch the summer reading program. Get Georgia Reading is reporting that 2/3 of our 3rd grade children are not reading on level. So we have decided to just make a gigantic fuss and then just party on through the school year. So we're kicking off with Books on the Block on June 1st. And I've invited the city, by all means, to come and set up a table and be part of this with us. Our goal is to really invite all of our families in, get them all excited about reading, expose them to other organizations and businesses in and around Tifton and outside of our county even that support literacy in children and families. And we're very excited to kick that off. And then we're off to the races all summer long. So all great things from the library, and thank you for your continued support of our program. We're very thankful for you.
Well, we're very thankful for you. Give this woman a hand. And Councilman Cromer is on the library board. Anything you want to add, Mr. Cromer?
Well, I just started, so
Yeah.
it's not much. I'm in the learning phase, but I'm looking forward to working with the library. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for that great report, Karen. We really appreciate the work you do. The next item is under old business, or items for discussion, and this relates to the application submitted by Lester Cromer requesting a conditional use permit to operate the cigar lounge at 214 Main Street. That property is currently zoned as commercial downtown and is map and parcel T043174. So, Lester, if you don't mind, just while we're having discussion, if you'll just seat yourself in the audience, because you'll need to recuse yourself from the discussion or the voting. But we did want you in the room in case anyone had any questions. You could certainly answer any concerns any of the council may have or any questions that the council may have. And gentlemen, I don't have any questions. I don't know if any of you do. I think you covered it pretty clearly the last time you were here. Yes. Yes, please.
Between Jessica and myself, as far as putting together this conditional use
Right.
ordinance. We, certainly the council on a special, on a conditional use, where you're having a use that has to have, you have to condition it, such as a nightclub or lounge, then you can set certain conditions for that location and for that business. So what we put in the proposal, I guess, for lack of a better word, since there was no discussion, is, things that you may want to consider as conditions. Whether you do or you don't, we have no idea. It was just something we kind of threw out there to see if you wanted to discuss them. I think previously Mr. Cromer had discussed, hours of operation. He talked about a ventilation system. So it was really, what you'll see on page 2 of the proposed ordinance is just some topics that Jessica and I just threw out there to see if you wanted to consider those as a condition or not. So I just want to kind of give you that explanation. That's why those things are there. They're just ideas, suggestions for your consideration. And if you want to discuss anything of those nature as a condition for the conditional use permit, then certainly you can do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification on those items. All right, gentlemen, you've got all of the information in your packet. Again, I'll open the floor for any discussion, questions, if we have any questions of Mr. Cromer.
And the ordinance that he's referencing will be under item 10, bookmark 10.
Okay.
And the application that was submitted and everything from the workshop is under item 5.
Okay.
So as it stands presently, there's nothing in this draft ordinance setting any conditions.
Okay.
These are just,
Well, then maybe I do have some questions. Your hours of operation will be what, Lester? Do you know yet?
Not exactly. I just gave you a roundabout before, but majority of my hours will be connected with Don Julio.
Don Julio's or Donatello?
The restaurant right across.
Don Julio's. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if anything, it'll be 30 minutes after his max.
Okay.
His closing time. So it's
All right.
based around his times, mainly.
And then opening time would be?
Either 11 a.m. or 12.
Okay. All right. Age requirement.
I had a meeting with a few individuals earlier this week, and as a collective, they suggested that 25 over.
Okay. And then you'll have someone that will be checking identification, I'm assuming, as they come in. All right, you've already talked about the ventilation system, so I think we're clear on that, unless you have any questions on the ventilation.
Not the ventilation, it's that, like I said, the hours of operation include like 11 or 12 to maybe 11, like say 11 A to 11 P, 6 days a week, 7 days a week.
Right now, my goal is 7 days a week, but again, all my hours are based around the restaurant right across. So,
Okay.
I didn't want to go too far away from their hours.
All right, and what
They're
about
open 7 days, actually.
7 days?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are. The restaurant.
Right, that's right, yeah.
So it's based around the restaurant hours. I wouldn't hang around more than 30 minutes
After their
It's
closing
too
time?
dangerous being the only thing open.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then what, I know we talked about ventilation and containment system. What about noise? If there's any, you're not planning on having, there shouldn't be like live music or anything?
Any noise that will be music-wise will be, I think the ordinance is 12 or 11 or 12. It wouldn't go past that.
Okay, so follow the local sound.
Yeah, it'll be
Okay.
with both.
Okay, and then, will you have private rentals or,
I haven't decided on private rentals.
okay,
Oh, I'd have to
Mainly
look on it.
because usually the events that happen are cigar companies that come in.
Sure.
Do presentations. Other than that, it could be a wine tasting or something like that.
Right.
But it will still go with what happens in cigar companies. So it's
Okay.
usually wine tasting sometimes. That'd be probably.
okay. Rob, let me ask you a question. I know you've thrown these out as things to think about. They're very good things to think about. do they need to be incorporated into the ordinance once that ordinance is done?
Yes.
So it would need to say hours of operation would be 7 days a week, 11 a.m., 11 p.m., or something along those lines?
That's right.
Okay,
And that's why I wanted to go ahead and get this up here for old business to discuss.
Yeah.
That way y'all can discuss them, and then we can go ahead and incorporate them when we get down to the actual consideration of
Right.
the ordinance.
now what happens if Lester says, yes, this is what I want to do, 7 days a week, 11 to 11, 25 years old, and then he wants to amend that. Later, he decides he wants to change and only be open 4 days a week or something. Can he do that? Would he have to come back before the council? How would something like that work?
I think we could probably just handle that by a resolution rather
Okay.
than changing the ordinance. Matter of fact, Jessica and I had several conversations about whether or not to do this by ordinance versus resolution. Actually, this is the first time we have done a conditional use permit. Most of the times that we've addressed conditional use has been associated with a rezone.
Uh-huh,
So this is a little bit of a different animal.
yeah,
So the way we look at it is that Mr. Cromer operates his business in accordance with the special use permit with the conditions that, council places on that conditional use permit. I think if you're going to change something that you have, I think you should bring it back before council. But I think it might be more of a matter of a resolution to change that criteria.
okay.
This
Jessica?
is like the maximum. I
Okay.
guess when you're talking about 25, that would, most of our, like a bar is 21, so that means no one under, so you have to be at least 21, or the hours, like you can't open past, is what would be in the ordinance. If he
Okay.
wanted to do less than that, that's fine. If he wanted to do 3 days a week from 12 to, but
As long as
he
he's doing
couldn't.
less than what we
Yes.
instigate, or not.
That's if y'all want to do that, if
Yeah,
y'all want to
then-
put any conditions. 7 days a week, for this type of business, I don't see, especially if there's alcohol sales, a bar, if you don't have any connection to a restaurant or food
Yeah.
sales, you're not able to operate on Sunday.
Okay.
Sale of alcohol.
Yes, so
So
if
he
he
could have the cigar
decides to
bar
move.
open, he just couldn't have alcohol sales that day, is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay. You got that?
Okay, I have a question for that. If it's called BYOB, is that permitted?
We don't permit that at all.
Okay. Okay. All right. So do we need to put, that's already covered by another ordinance. That doesn't need to be specifically in this, correct?
That's right, Mayor. And
Okay.
also, we did talk about Jessica and I talked about the noise ordinance. Naturally, the noise ordinance
gonna
applies to
cover that.
everybody.
Yeah.
I think the only concern, I think there are some residential properties that may be above or
Yeah,
below.
I'll address that directly with the Harpers and the residents itself. But again, the noise would be normal, not club.
Right.
More conversational, so.
Probably not.
Really loud music.
Okay.
And that was my thought. The noise ordinance would apply equally to Mr. Cromer's as it does anybody else for any other business.
Okay. So to make sure that I'm following procedure correctly, when we get down to item number 10 on our new business, which is to vote on what we're discussing right now, when that motion is made, let's assume there will be a motion made to approve it, then these conditions would need to be stated in that motion, is that correct?
Yes, it would.
Okay, so y'all understand that, gentlemen, because I can't make a motion. I can second, but I can't make a motion. Now, if you choose to vote it down, then it goes away and it doesn't matter. But if you are going to make a motion to approve, you would need to state those conditions. So we need to go ahead and, I guess, kind of hash out right now, is it the 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to, what time would Don Julio close with their?
Oh, I would have to look. Probably
Probably.
11.
11, okay.
Probably.
You're good with 11 to 11 at this point, 7 days a week?
Yes.
Okay. And then age requirement's 25? Okay. You've already handled the ventilation system, but we'll put that in there, that it would need to have a ventilation system.
10:30.
And that, we don't need to then address noise because it's, okay,
Correct.
that's covered. And then no private rentals. rentals, you're good with that as far as the conditions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I couldn't go in and rent your cigar bar for the night?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your business, you're gonna run your business, okay. Okay, is everybody clear on that? For what needs to be in the motion, if you approve, okay.
Mr. Cromer, is there any way, we have your ventilation system, and I think that you had, your presentation, you had presented something on the ventilation system. Is there a name for that we could,
It's called Blue Ox.
Blue Ox?
Blue Ox is the name of the company and the system. That's the main one, but there are two smaller ones as well. But the main one's called Blue Ox, which sits in the cell, which is the main.
And I guess we just leave it at ventilation system.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the name.
okay, okay. So we're not getting into specific brands and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other questions or comments, Jonah?
Based off trustee Google, Don Julio closes at 10 during the week and Friday and Saturday at 10:30.
Okay, so that would, your 11 would cover that?
Yeah, it's only 30 minutes.
Thank you, Judge.
Trustee Google. All right, gentlemen, any questions, comments? Good? All right, Rob, anything else we need to consider before we move forward?
Not unless there's something else you all can think of that you want to have, conditions. We couldn't think of, we don't have anything else.
Okay.
I do have one question though. If this does pass and he wants later on bump the age down from 25 to 21, does that have to come back for us?
Yes.
Well, I guess those were his, the way I see it is that's what he proposed. Y'all could set it at 21 and he could do it at 20. That's the way I see it.
Sure.
I mean, he's proposing that. I don't want anybody at, we're, like I said, we're just trying to do,
Sure. I guess.
Put it 21.
Okay. Okay, any other questions, gentlemen?
so do y'all want to discuss that now or y'all waiting to?
I think, it's up to, whatever y'all want to do. I really don't have any more discussion items. I think we've received all the information that we need, unless we need to discuss amongst ourselves further. What would y'all prefer we do? I'll leave that up to y'all.
I got one thing. Would the doors, would be a condition that the door remain closed?
I'm sorry.
Would the doors be propped open at times, or can they remain closed at all times?
No cigar lounge keeps the door open.
Well, I mean, I've traveled before as well, and some do prop them open at times to let people come through, but, I mean, since we having a discussion about it, some people worried about, smoke and that type of deal, can that be a condition?
So
the
as
door
part of the
remain-
conditions of the conditional
The
use
front.
permit, keep the doors closed.
So if I was gonna enter the building, there's gonna be somebody at the door checking my ID as soon as I come in, or would it be like me knocking, like the door's closed or locked?
We'll be able to walk in and, the location where I'm gonna have the reception, as far as purchasing, you'll walk right into that. So we'll be in control of, who's coming in and out. Easy. So usually it's a walk-in, but you will have, if you try to purchase anything, you need a card. And I plan on having, members only. And once we have the members only, they will be on the list where they don't have to be carded, but anyone else will have to show ID, to be blocked.
Okay. Gentlemen, do you want us to discuss this further amongst ourselves, or if we do, I guess you were just going to suggest that Lester recuse himself at this point, or come
I
back?
think when we get down to the actual new business to discuss this at that time, then I believe Mr. Cromer wants to remain in the room during the discussion phase. I think when we get down to to consider the adoption, at that point in time, somebody can make a motion, somebody can second it, we can have more discussion,
Okay,
and then move that way.
okay, all right. Everybody good with that?
I'm good with that, yeah.
Okay, good, okay. All right, Lester, thank you. Thank you, Rob, for that guidance. And to our attendees, I apologize about the confusion. We've got a kind of an odd situation where we had to postpone a discussion item and put it on this agenda that normally would have been discussed at the workshop meeting. And so it's a little bit unusual, so pardon our or it's a big, I guess, confusion or need for clarification from our city attorney to make sure we do everything just so. Okay, moving on along with our agenda. Our consent agenda, it has 3 items on it. As you know, we can take those 3 items together. The 3 items, Arts in Black as a festival, First Friday in Fullwood as a festival, and then the GMA statewide mutual aid agreement that we heard about last week, at the last meeting. We can take those individually or all together, so I'll take a motion from one.
I'll make a motion that we take them all together.
Okay, okay, for approval, you say?
Yeah, for approval.
Okay, all right, and second, all right, so I have a motion and a second to take these collectively and to approve all 3. Is there a second? Oh, you second, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is there any further discussion, is what I meant to say. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, under new business, we have the resolution approving the proposed project for submittal to GDOT's local road assistance funding, and we heard from Adam and Emily at our last meeting that thankfully the state has decided to be very generous and offer some additional money for paving, and we've discussed what streets will be paved with that additional money. It's not a local match, but we are going to put a little extra money into it to be able to meet the needs that we have for paving. And those items are in an exhibit in your packet. So any new things we need to know about Emily or Adam? Everything's still the same? Okay. All right, gentlemen, I'll take a motion concerning that resolution.
I move to approve.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. All right, here we are, number 10. We got there quickly, Lester. All right.
Mayor, if it might benefit council, this is what I understand from the previous discussion as far as what you were thinking about as far as conditions on the conditional use permit, that the hours would be 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., 7 days a week, age limit of 21 and above. There'll be a ventilation system, no private rentals, and the doors of the establishment will remain closed during operation. Those were the 5 conditions.
I think I think those are all the conditions. Jessica, can you think of anything else as our clerk that we're leaving off? Good? Can't think of anything else we need to add? Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we have those conditions. So that's accurate, Rob.
Right, so if I could hand this list, to whoever desires to make a motion one way or the other, so
Okay.
I'll just leave it up to you, Mayor.
All right. All right. So I will take a motion concerning either the approval or non-approval of the ordinance for the conditional use permit.
I'd like to make the motion for approval with these conditions to this application.
Okay. Does he need to read those out loud? Are we good?
Yes.
Read those out loud.
With the conditions being the hours of operation from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., no one under the age of 21, the ventilation system provided, no private rentals, and the doors remain closed during operation hours.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion to approve with those conditions. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a second by Mr. Franks. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to say, I've had several people reach out to me, and I've had just a couple in opposition, but many in favor for. And from the comments we heard earlier this evening, I mean, it is so good to see businesses open downtown, Main Street, rather than just seeing, paper being in the window. I know there's probably isn't a market for everybody. There's going to be certain people that, going to enjoy a cigar or not. But, if we have somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur and open up a business, why not give them a chance? So with that being said, those are my comments.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other comments, questions, discussion? All right. I'll call for the vote. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? All right. So that does carry. All right, Lester, you may come back up to the dais. Wow. Thank you. All right, going on with our agenda, item number 11 is to consider an ordinance for amending the existing plan development overlay site plan for the 41 North property. As you'll remember, last month, our last meeting, Mr. Bowen came and made a presentation concerning the use of drive-throughs at that facility, and so this is basically making that little change so that he makes his property more marketable. So I'll take a motion concerning that, that change for that existing plan development overlay.
Make a motion that we approve the amendment to the existing plan development overlay.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Do we have a motion and a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That does carry. Our next item is something that's very important to several people here. We heard from the Lorax, wherever he went, I don't know where he is, there he is, about our trees, and we have several members of our tree board here and people who are very concerned about our tree ordinance and how that's going to work. We've had all of the information shared with us, so the next item is an ordinance to amend Chapter 86 to provide for the protection of public trees and penalties for violation. So gentlemen, you've had that before you, so I'll take a motion concerning that, that amendment.
I move to approve.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, George and Lorax. You now have your, now have your protection of your trees, which is very important to this community. Our next item is item number 13, consider an ordinance to amend Chapter 38, Article 3, Section 38-121 to provide for criminal penalties and issuance for citations for nuisance violations. And we've all had experience with code enforcement and being able to define what a nuisance is to the community and how we're going to address it, how we're going to deal with it. And we've had our code group here. Emily, anything you want to add before I call for the vote on that? Pretty much the amendment there. So this is amending Chapter 38 so that our code enforcement group has the authority to go ahead and cite those code citations, and then we can get into court quicker and move forward quicker. So I'll take a motion concerning that ordinance to amend.
I'll make a motion to amend
Okay.
the ordinance.
All right, Chapter 38. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That carries. And then the last item under our new business is consider an ordinance to amend Chapter 10, Article 5, Section 10-202 to limit the number of Class B amusement machines. Emily presented some information about that to us at the workshop, so I'll take a motion concerning limiting those devices.
I move to approve.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So that carries. All right, I'm going to call on Larry Lawrence, our CFO, to present the information on our financial report. Larry's good at emailing us out summaries so that we can kind of take that information in bite-sized chunks because it's a lot of information.
Yeah, it is.
So Larry, I'll turn that over to you.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. Just to go over the finances through the month of March. We're still doing very well. Looking at the general fund, total revenues is $16,059,885, and total expenditures $12,733,274, with net revenues over expenditures of $3,326,610. That gives us a good cushion going into the last 3 months, which are a little slower on the revenue side. So we should finish out the year fine. We do have a lot of capital expenditures that we're behind on because of the supply chain disruption going back to COVID. So those might have to be pushed into next year, but we have the funds here. This net revenue would fold into the fund balance, which we would use next year for those capital expenditures. So it's just a matter of timing. On the enterprise funds, all the enterprise funds are operating favorably. The water fund, total revenue is $3,588,296. Total expenditures, $2,464,405, with net revenues over expenditures $1,123,890. Sewer fund, total revenues $4,356,269. Total expenditures $3,328,629. And net revenues over expenditures $1,027,639. Gas fund, total revenues $3,784,397. Total expenditures $2,678,352, with net revenues over expenditures of $1,106,045. And then solid waste, total revenues $3,685,239. And total expenditures, $2,977,574, with net revenues over expenditures, $707,665. And you do have a detailed financial report.
We do.
You know, if you have any questions on that, you ask them now or get with me later or whatever.
Gentlemen?
So
any
I know it's a lot
questions?
of numbers, so,
Everything looks good going into the last quarter of the year.
yeah, we're looking good.
We are looking good. All right, great, that's great. Thank you, Larry. Thank
All
you
right.
very much. If we have any questions later, we can certainly reach out to Larry individually. He's always responsive to an email or a phone call if you have anything that you think of. All right, city manager report.
Yes, I have a few things to report on. The first one, I would like to give you a Ryland environmental update. Ryland is our contracted service for solid waste pickup for residential and bulk yard debris. In the first quarter of the year, very impressive. Ryland handles all of our recycling compactor for residential at our convenient drop-off center, and the commercial front-load recycling. In the first quarter, January, February, and March, our community put in a total of recycling materials of 29.46 tons, or 58,920 pounds of recycling that did not go to the landfill, that all went to a much better cause. So kudos to that. With the good news always comes some bad news. Ryland will be moving locations. We will have an interruption in our community recycling service at this point in time. The last day that they will be accepting recycling materials will be on Friday, April 19th. We will have this advertised on social media and the website until they are able to get into their new location and hopefully set up operations there. As a public reminder for people that are out doing spring cleaning and yard work, Ryland does pick up yard debris. It's the load that they are able to pick up without having to call and have an additional charge is 5 feet by 8 feet. Or similar to the size of the back of a pickup truck bed. Anything larger than that, they need to call Ryland's office and schedule a pickup, and there is an additional cost for that, as that is not billed on a monthly basis. And then a few events that we have coming. Georgia Cities Week is right around the corner, so this is always a fun week for the city to spotlight city operations and the impact that we make on the community. We will have something going on every day. You can see this on social media and our website as well as far as being advertised. But a few things I'd like to spotlight. On Tuesday, the week starts on Monday, April 22nd, and it goes through Saturday, April 27th. On Tuesday, the 23rd, we will have a Customer Appreciation Day here at City Hall until supplies last. On Wednesday, we will be in our school system with our elected officials and a group of students who were selected to have lunch with us and understand the inner workings of government, and to ask those fun questions that everybody thinks that the mayor knows the president and she flies here. Friday, we will have our ribbon cutting, the official ribbon cutting for our new playground, going right into Touch a Truck. This is always a big event for the kiddos. This is from 4:30 to 6 at Fullwood Park. Followed by a free movie at the TIFF Theater. They will be playing Big Hero 6 starting at 6 p.m. Again, that is free for the community. And then on Saturday, the 27th, we will have a scrap tire drop-off event at Cato Knight parking lot, which is right across the road from City Hall. From 8:30 to 12. So if you have any scrap tires laying around, if you see them on any backway alleys, please pick them up. You can bring them and drop them off for free without a charge. And then I just want to remind you, one thing you voted on tonight was First Friday Festival at Fullwood. That is lined up for, obviously, the first Friday in May. There will be 2 bands. We have an opener, Liz Faith from Sylvester, and then the headliner will be Flintlock Annie from Tifton. This starts at 6 and will end at 10 p.m. Our Main Street program puts this on with many of our downtown vendors going out to set up operations, and they are able to secure those vendor places by reaching out to our Main Street manager, Hillary Culpepper. And you will see more information on social media closer to the date gets. And then that Friday, we'll have First Friday at Fullwood, but then that Saturday is the Arts in Black Festival. It's always a big event for us, so there's always something going on in Tifton. You just got to get out and see it.
All right.
So, and that's all I have for an update.
All right, great. Good report. Thank you for that. All right, gentlemen, any comments from anyone? Anyone have anything they'd like to add as we close out the?
Yeah, I mean, I'll add some.
Go ahead.
Few things. First thing is, we all know that we have a great new addition to our park. It's our playground for our kids. I just want the city and the people that coming to enjoy this park be mindful of that. Let's take care of this park and what we have built for the kids. Keep it clean. We're going to try to keep it clean. We're going to try to keep it new. So take care of it. I mean, we want it to last for as long as it can so people and everybody can enjoy it. So we know it's new and it's big and it's shiny and we all want to play on it. Let's be friendly, take care of the park, and be mindful of your surroundings when you're at the park. I know we've had some incidents, people getting hurt in certain other ways. We do have a Frisbee course out there. Mindful, they are playing Frisbee. And just know that possibly a Frisbee can go anywhere if you don't have good aim. It's just like playing golf. Sitting around, you're not watching, they're going to call it 4. So maybe we have to start telling them to yell 4. But with that being said, also, we do have some great informative pages on our social medias out here. But I would tell people that be mindful before you share certain things, because certain things might not be true just yet. And sometimes that strikes fear in people and it can cause havoc on something else. So be mindful what you put first, because we have a police force that do a great job of investigating things and getting down to the bottom of things. But sometimes when people put certain things out so fast, that might not be what happened. So just be mindful of those things that you post and you put out, because you strike fear in people. And that's not what we want to do here in Tifton. Also, I know we had a large discussion today about Cigar Bar downtown. I'm not taking anything away from cancer and the Cancer Society and the things you said, Mr. Lee. I had obviously a person that went through cancer, and that person with cancer would tell me, let me enjoy myself while I'm here. So I don't want to take anything away from anybody. That's their enjoyment if they want to smoke a cigar. But I definitely understand the truth of cancer and the Cancer Society, and I respect the serving on that board and the things that you have let us light today and told us about those statistics. And I will remind people, be careful if you decide to smoke and enjoy your cigar in that bar. Just know the things that can come with it. But enjoy yourself while you're in downtown Tifton carefully. And thank you, Mr. Lester, for attempting to have a new business downtown. We do need that. We do need the growth. So we understand both sides. And also, I just want to invite everybody out to the Tifton Council for the Arts at Tuscany or 10. It is coming up April 25th. The tickets are $125 a person. That donates to our art council, local art council here, making art affordable and accessible to all. So I want to invite you all out to that. April 25th. So that's all I have to say.
That's a good report,
Yep.
MJ. How's that, John?
Yeah, very well said, MJ.
Yeah, it was very well said.
I just want to bring up one quick thing. On April 7th, there was a wreck in the county, but it affected a couple teenagers. 2 daughters of Bruce and Amber Gibbs, if any of y'all know them in the community. Their oldest is okay. Their youngest has been at Capitol in Tallahassee since the 7th. She was actually live flighted out. She's an 8th grade student at Northeast middle school here in Tifton. Family is just good people, very good people. And the aunt of Chloe Gibbs has started a GoFundMe. Her name is Elena Rogers. If anybody knows of a family or feels led to give help, please go GoFundMe. And if not, all prayers are always welcome. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Short and sweet. I just want to thank everyone that had an opinion on the Cigar Lounge. I especially want to thank Michelle Powers for Let's Talk Tifton. It seemed like it was a healthy conversation. It was very entertaining at the same time. And I just want to thank her for having the outlet for the community to speak on. Thank you, Michelle. Can't see you for the poll, but
She's back there.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Good.
Good.
Okay. We do need to go into executive session, gentlemen, for legal purposes. So I will ask one of you to please make a motion to do that. Once we vote on that, we'll take about a 2-minute break and then go into a quick executive session. So someone will just
Make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
So we have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll take that quick break and then come back in for executive session.